Welcome, I'm your host, Malcolm Gallagher. From our BizVision studios in the UK, you're watching the BV-TV Conscious Matters channel. For the first quarter of 2021, here at BV-TV and BizVision, our focus is on one word, and that word is Awaken. Awaken to what, some ask? Who feel they're maybe paddling along as fast as they can at the moment. Yes, I can talk about awaken to business opportunity, awaken to new markets, awaken to new ways of working. But there's something more which I believe comes under our Conscious Matters agenda. Many people need to awaken to what is possible personally, perhaps with a little change, and helping their team awaken to their own personal achievement. As you may have perceived, our approach at BizVision is not textbook. I like to meet for you people who have done it, often been to the extreme, and have a real, live and inspiring story to tell you. So come with me to Greece and meet my inspiring guest, Dave Armstrong. Hello, Dave.
Hello. How are you, Malcolm?
Oh, well, I'm fine, but it's cold over here, and especially you're going to tell me it's really lovely in Greece today.
It's not bad. It's not UK at all. We have a little cold streak coming through. It's been raining, but it's not the UK. It's all right. I'll deal with the winter, as we call it here.
Don't rub it in. Don't rub it in. It's my
right.
show. It's my show. I can be in charge. Hey, listen, it's great we can get together without having to go through all that social distancing and stuff, isn't it? But I'm delighted you're kind of guesting on our fastest growing global TV channel, which is the Conscious Matters. Now, in this BV-TV show talk, I'll be chatting to Dave in three parts. First part, I'll chat to him about his thoughts on knowing how and where to change your life, especially in these challenging times. Then in part two, we'll move to talking about your team or your people and helping them make any necessary change. In part three, we'll talk about how to use your newfound ideal to both grow your business, but maintain the right balance as you do it. But Dave, before we get into our three-part chat, please briefly introduce yourself to my viewers and listeners. Who is Dave Armstrong? What's your story? What makes Dave jump out of bed in the morning, apart from the sound of someone playing a bouzouki too loud?
Bouzouki is all right. Malcolm, that's a great question. What makes me tick? What makes Dave tick? I came from some really, really, really rough upbringings. I was abandoned when I was about 12, 13 years old. My mom died when I was about 13. I was in and out of boys' camps, foster homes, juvenile detention until I was 19 years old. And it's a struggle. And a lot of my speeches, I'm a motivational speaker, and a lot of my speeches, we talk about defying your destiny, right? Overcoming your destiny. And the truth is, we're all just born into whatever environment we're born into. If you happen to be rich, if you happen to be Mexican, if you happen to be Jamaican, it doesn't matter. You're just born. That's it. You're just there. And your destiny, the trajectory of your life, is usually synonymous with where you're born, right? It's usually your environment, your upbringing, and the 1%, or maybe even 5% of people in the world are able to defy their destiny, to say, no, I'm not going to be a drug abuser. I'm not going to sell drugs. I'm not going to end up in jail or in prison. And so I was lucky enough to have a couple of people in my life that helped me define my destiny. And so here I am sitting in Greece, retired after 24 years of military service in the Air Force. I've been able to own 3 martial arts schools across the United States, helping thousands of kids, as well as adults. I've even had a 65-year-old guy named Tom tell me, Dave, Sensei Dave, it's amazing. I came here just for the karate stuff, and I'm just learning so much self-discipline and my confidence. And it's great to see that. It's great to be able to facilitate that. So I've been able to do all that. I retired, sold my businesses, came to retire with my beautiful wife here in Greece. And I spent a couple of years, Malcolm, just kind of hanging out. And I said, this isn't me. I can't retire. And I'm only 40 something, and I go, I can't retire. So here goes Unlimited Potential Network, where I'm a life coach. Here goes another degree. So I went and got a psychology degree. And so here goes a whole motivational speaking career that I relaunched. And so that's what gets me out of bed today, is knowing that I get to help somebody. I get to impact someone's life in a positive way. There's no better feeling in the world.
Brilliant. And of course, the bazooka music helps as well.
That wakes me up.
Yeah. Dave, let's kick off our chat in part one about the possible need to make personal changes in our lives. I've done nearly 500 of these interviews since last March, and I can see people struggling with this new world. I think many don't know that they may need to make those changes, or where to start, or how to do it correctly. After all, taking the wrong path could be harmful, couldn't it? So what's your thoughts and advice? What should they be thinking about in regards to the concept of their business and their change?
Oh, Malcolm, that's a difficult question because we're all different. But I'll use some commonalities. And the first commonality is growth, and having a growth mindset. Waking up and saying, I want to be better. I want to be different. I want to learn more. I want to just grow every single day. And that's hard to do for a lot of people because look, we're biological creatures, and we like complacency. We like to be comfortable, right? We like to get up and do the same thing day in and day out. And when we invoke something different into our lives, when we say, no, we need to change, we need to do this, it challenges our biology. Right? It challenges how we're hardwired because we want complacency. So I would say having a growth mindset, having the mindset, changing how you actually do, not just think, right? Do every single day, forming habits and having that intrinsic motivation to go on and do something different, be someone different every day. It's not a wake up magic wand, here I am, a millionaire, sitting in Greece and retired. No, it's I want baby steps. I have big goals. And the how. A lot of us say we have a 2021 resolution. I want to lose 10 pounds, but we do the same thing as we did last year for the same resolution, and we didn't achieve it. Well, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing again and again and again,
Yes.
and expecting a different result, right? So I would say to all your listeners that you have to just change the way you fundamentally operate, not just think, operate, and have a growth mindset of, I want to try, I want to do, I want to try, I want to do, I want to seek knowledge. And once you get that ball rolling, guess what happens? Now it's a habit, right? Mm-hmm. And after a while, it's just part of your nature. So you've hardwired, right? You've changed the hardwiring, rather, in your mind, in your brain, in your body, your biological being, right, of being complacent, of wanting to be comfortable, has now changed. And now you go, well, wait a minute, I didn't learn something new. I didn't do something new today. What's going on? I didn't try today. I didn't grow today. And so I would say, that would be the first thing. The second thing is self-reflection. Right? Being honest with yourself, right? Looking at yourself in the mirror and going, this is who I am. And I want something different. And unfortunately, self-reflection can be a double-edged sword, because a lot of people look in that mirror and then they go, I hate who I am. And now I'm depressed. And I sat for 2 years depressed because I had a spinal condition. I'll tell you a little story. I had a spinal condition to where my spine was literally like this, right? My L4 or L5 S1 vertebrae, and no disc in between. And I was suffering, Malcolm. I was suffering daily I couldn't walk for 20 minutes. I couldn't sit for 20 minutes. It was horrible, just a bad, bad situation. And I become depressed. And I sat for 2 years contemplating surgery. And I finally said, I have to have surgery if I want to have some sort of quality of life. But it was hard to look at myself in the mirror and go, no, you've been wronged for 10 years, trying to do all sorts of other things for 10 years. You need to go have surgery. And it took 2 years, 2 years for me to go, you know what? I'm depressed. And you know what? I need to stop the pain pills all day. I need to the opioids and all of this stuff. I want something different for my life. And so it doesn't have to be so dramatic for all your listeners, right? They can just go, I want to lose 10 pounds, right? It could be small or big, whatever the desire is that's there. Be self-reflective and don't get caught up in a rut of, oh, I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, or I don't think that this is really my thing. If you want to do it, try it.
Yeah.
Do it and sustain it for a little bit. Don't just try it and go, well, I tried it. No, try it, give it considerable try, right? Give it effort. And sometimes we figure out that, okay, this is not something that I want in my life. This is not something that I'm great at. This is not something that I truly desire. I thought I did, but okay, I don't. And then you move on. But you got to have that growth mindset. You got to be true to yourself, and you have to actually try things in life. You have to seriously give it a concerted effort.
Yeah. Do you think you should share that challenge with somebody else? Because often they'll be the watchdog, should we say?
Absolutely. I'm a life coach also, amongst the million other things that I'm doing now. And I'll tell people, like, you have to have someone in your corner. And the more someone's in your corner, the better. And so when you share it, it does two things. You hold yourself more accountable, okay, for whatever goal that you want to have. And you also have someone else that's helping you hold yourself accountable. And it's great to actually share your goals, your dreams, your aspirations with people. And the more people, the better. And unfortunately, a lot of us live in this environment where we're ashamed of even the things that we want for our lives, right? We're ashamed of wanting to lose 10 pounds, so we don't tell anyone. Well, what the heck is that? You have to you have to be self-reflective, look in the mirror and go, this is what I want, this is who I am, and you know what? I'm okay with it.
Right, yeah. Well, I need to lose 30 pounds, so I need 3 people by 10 pounds, don't I? I'll find them. All
right. You got 10 from me, Malcolm.
Oh, thank you.
My pleasure.
Don't worry, I've got 10 from Kim, my wife, and as she tells me things twice, that's 20, isn't it? Look,
good night.
Look, Dave, it's part of life at the moment, isn't it? Sharing, decision making, going for it. Before we move to part 2, I'd like to remind viewers and listeners of your website URL, which is on the screen behind me for viewers, but for listeners, let me point it out as www.upna, upna.net. I'll say that again, upna.net. Right, Dave, part 2. Now, as leaders, we also need to be conscious of our people and perhaps their needs to change. And many are having to still work from home, for example, at the moment, and homeschool children and all the myriad of other challenges. Now, I'm not suggesting every leader needs to be a psychiatrist, but surely every leader needs to know how to spot when a team member is struggling and know what to do about helping them. You know about teams. What's your thoughts here?
Yeah, I know a lot about teams. Being in the Air Force and being able to lead a lot of people in one direction was a blessing. And everyone doesn't have the innate ability or skills to be a profound leader, and that's okay. I believe that we all have things that we're just born to do. For some reason, we have these innate abilities or these innate skills. And then we develop either these innate skills or abilities over time, over experience, or we develop skills and abilities that are not truly in our nature over time and experience. But in order to really to lead, right? If you're a born leader or if you've developed your leadership skills, you have to know your people. You have to know, if it's a small organization and you have 10 people working for you, you have to know every single person. If it's a large organization, you have 1,000 people working for you. You have managers, you have meetings with people that are in your leadership team, and you have to know them. And you also have to instill the ability and not ability, the culture of knowing everyone else, right? Truly knowing, because everyone's different, Malcolm. Every single person is different. We all have different dislikes. We all have different likes. We all have different innate abilities. We all have different developed abilities. We all have different goals. Everyone doesn't want to be a leader. Everyone doesn't want to be a manager. Everyone doesn't want to sit there on the assembly line and do a monotonous task, right? So, but some people do, and that's okay, because without everyone working synergistically, right, all together, nothing gets done. The overall concept of whatever you're doing, it could be making shoes, or it could be running, you could be Elon Musk, doing SpaceX and Tesla and everything else.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, you have to know the people that are directly working for you, and you have to instill the culture of them knowing the people that are working for them. And it trickles down like that. And the reason why you have to know them is because sometimes you get people in positions that they're just wrong for. I've seen bad leaders. I've seen leaders that were obviously not born with the innate ability to lead, and they've tried to develop it, and they didn't do a good job, or someone didn't instill the right qualities of a leader into them. And you go, boy, we need to retrain, right? We need to attack this right here, right, and figure it out, because this person doesn't have the right qualities to lead. The end. So yeah,
isn't it, in a way, because people are thrust into leadership when sometimes they shouldn't be there, should they?
Yeah, absolutely. I was I was 23, 24 years old when I was thrusted into a leadership position. And although the Air Force does an amazing job of sending you to school, mentoring you and getting you into courses and all of this stuff just to learn how to lead, it's very different when you're a young kid from the hood. I could barely read or write when I joined the Air Force, barely read or write. And they say, okay, now you're in charge of 2 people. Just because I made rank.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Okay, you taught me this stuff, but it's different, when you're sitting in an academic environment, right? Or you're being mentored, and then all of a sudden you are in charge. Oh, and it's okay. You know what? You make mistakes. You take the training, you take all of the stuff that you learn, the mentorship, and you apply it, right? And hopefully that stuff is good quality leadership, schooling, mentoring, and knowledge.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah. Dave, and now for part 3, reaping the benefits of this conscious and caring approach. I know there's no magic wand, but we're all new people. What does a business leader need to consider as she or he harnesses the new vigor of a balanced team? Surely there's a need to watch out for what, let's call it, scale up burnout as the business grows.
Well, that's an interesting question, because it's kind of 2-part. With any team, you want to create intrinsic motivation, right? You want, the The ultimate ideal situation is everyone is working in a position and doing something that he or she values intrinsically, right? They're not showing up just for the paycheck. Absolutely, the paycheck is the reward, is the end goal here, but they come in and they go, I enjoy what I do. Right? Whatever it is, it could be playing chess all day. I enjoy chess. You tell the chess master, hey, go play chess for 8 hours and I'm going to pay you, a 6-figure salary if you do this for a year. He or she'll go, oh, okay, not a problem at all. So whatever positions you have people in, hopefully they have that intrinsic motivation and intrinsic drive to see the end result happen. Excuse me. So to see the end result happen, right, for the organization, and it's up to leadership and management to help instill that intrinsic drive, help mold that intrinsic drive. And if you're showing up to do something that you enjoy doing, right, and it doesn't have to be. Everyone says, oh, you have to have your dream job and your dream. Well, okay, let's live in reality here. Everyone, firstly, doesn't have the aptitude to do their dream whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Like if you're telling me, Dave, go be a musician, I can't sing. I don't play an instrument. I don't play the bazooka. So could I learn it? Yeah. Well, maybe after 10,000 hours of studying, but am I going to be intrinsically motivated to study and work that hard at it? Even if I enjoy doing it? Probably not. So everyone doesn't have to be working in their dream position, right? It's ideal, but maybe you're just not skilled enough. You don't have enough time to get skilled enough. And let's get into real reality. Real reality is we need a paycheck, right? Mm. So why not get into a business, a job, doing something that you do like, right? And that you can form intrinsic value of doing. Oh, what about that? That's a concept, right? It's not a cookie cutter one and that's it type of deal, right? I just want to be a musician. I want to play the saxophone and that's it. And if I can't do it, well, I'll sit in my house and be pissed off about it. No, you can have more than one thing that you value doing in life. So I would say, absolutely creating that intrinsic drive, and leaders need to understand when to oil the machine, right? When to walk around. That's what if you're a CEO, that's what you need to do. If you're in upper management, that's what you need to do. You walk around with your oil can all day because your job is to help people stay intrinsically driven to do their job. You go around and you oil the machine, huh? You oil, you talk to people, you figure out how, if people are in the wrong positions, how you can make their job better. Because someone as a secretary, for example, if she's having a hard time with the computer or the laptop that's sitting in front of her, right? It's not working properly. And this goes on and on and on, but she hasn't told anybody because no one's come up and said, hey, can I make your job any better? Can I make what you do on a daily basis just a little easier, a little better? And she said, oh, Dave, you know what? This laptop here, it's about 10 years old. It crashes every time I send an email. Guess what? When you go buy another laptop, how great she feels after that, or he feels after that. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Well, that oil can.
I love that oil can analogy. And, obviously you come from the Air Force, and if you don't provide the right maintenance, guess which, the plane doesn't go up, it comes down, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's that's synonymous with anything, Malcolm. If you don't provide the right oil, whatever the oil is for the job, that eventually it's just going to go out the window. Eventually it degrades.
Yeah, excellent. Dave, sadly, I've got to leave you in sunny Greece and go back and see if I can get into England without quarantining. I'm totally committed to the fact that the business of now and the future will be a conscious business, committed to planet, people and profits, but knowing that the P for people needs to be a genuine and concerned commitment. Dave Armstrong knows about people and how to help and support them. Many thanks, Dave, for a great interview.
My pleasure. Thank you very much, Malcolm. Thank you to you and all your listeners and to your lovely wife, Kim.
Be further inspired by getting Dave's book, Why Me? My Fight for Life, at Amazon or the website on the screen.